Chipping the ball from a tight lie is unfortunately something we probably have to do quite often as golfers. Now in this situation I'm stood on top of a mound and it's almost like the mower has taken all the grass off the top of this mound and there isn't a great deal of grass to play from, which is not an ideal situation to be. Other situations where you get the tight lies is on walkways. So the walkway away from the green, where lots of golfers have used their sort of trolleys and their buggies and they've walked with their feet away from the green and it's kind of worn out a lot of the grass, and that's a situation that we often have to chip from as well. And unless you assess accurately the type of lie that you're in, you might be choosing the wrong shot to play from the wrong situation. In this position here, very little grass under the golf ball. If I had a lob wedge or a sand wedge in this situation, this would be a very, very high risk shot, because the chance of me getting that club under the ball off this tight lie, you know, it could be one of those that I try and get underneath it, I don't manage to get underneath it, and I thin it clean past my flag position, purely because the lie was too tricky. So in a situation like this, I probably want to build in a margin of error, a margin of forgiveness. Now, wouldn't be the worst situation in the world to putt from here. You know, no, I'm a long way off the green to be using my putter, but actually if I put it from here, I've got to down the down slope, roll it to the flag, I'm going to be certainly better than that shot I've just hit too far there with the lob wedge. Now, I'm actually going to suggest I'm going to try and play this with a 9-iron. I'm going to play a little chip and run shot with a 9-iron, with the understanding that if I thin this one, the thin is going to be an awful lot better than the thin would have been with the sand wedge. In fact, if we can just try and chip one down there now, I can just take it off the top of the surface and release one down to the flag. So it looks pretty close, I can tap the putt in. But if I was in this situation and I topped it and thinned it, it's probably going to roll down okay. It's not the world's greatest shot, but I've barely moved that ball forwards and it's still rolled down there around about 12 feet away. So if you find yourself in that situation where there's very little grass around the ball and you have the opportunity to bump and run one, use a less lofted club, drop it down to a 9 or an 8-iron. You play the ball middle or back third of your stance, you grip down the club, you lean left, all good chipping techniques, and then you just bruise the turf. Whatever's there, you just try and bruise the turf. Make sure you stay down, try and get good contact. If we can just dink the ball forwards and release it down to the flag, that's going to be the safer way to play that bump and run shot if the ball is chipped from a tight lie on the golf course.